Hello, everybody. Jan of Jan Hicks Creates back again with another wonderful interview. I am having so much fun with these, and I hope you are too. Today, we are speaking to Felisha Gonzalez. Felisha is in California. Hi, Felisha. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So, Felisha, we're going to start with you just telling us a little bit about who you are, where you live, your family, whatever you'd like to share with everybody.
Sure. Well, as you said, my name's Felicia. I live in California. I live in the northern part of California and right in the middle of it, the Central Valley. We are famous for being the hometown of George Lucas. That's kind of
Oh,
the fun talking point that everyone likes to bring up. And
right.
this town is very big on American graffiti in the early summertime. They like to get out their old cars and cruise the streets and have
Cool.
parades and stuff. So that's the fun things that we're known for. So I'll leave it there. Lots of agriculture, lots of allergies that go with growing new things. Sort of where a lot of produce and almonds and all kinds of nuts and stuff are grown are right in this area. I've lived here my whole life. My parents live about 2 minutes away, and I live with my sister, and that was completely by accident, but it's turned out to be uh, very advantageous as you get older and you realize, oh no, I don't know anything. Mom, how do you do this? Dad, can you fix
Yeah,
that?
yeah. So is your sister older than you or younger?
She's younger, but we're only 17 months apart, so we're pretty close.
Well, that's cool. That's
Yeah, it's really a nice arrangement. We
yeah,
grew up sharing a room, so sharing an apartment with our own rooms is a piece of cake.
yeah, yeah. Just a step away from that. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. That's
So I have a boyfriend and I have a little dog. That's about my little world here.
and is your boyfriend all on board with your cross stitch?
Oh, yeah. He likes to ask me why I don't finish a project before I start a new one. Like,
Silly boy.
oh, sweet boy. But he does woodworking. So I ask him the same questions back, and he goes, well, no, I don't do that. Well, then why are you asking me about my craft?
So he
Leave it
can make
alone.
like frames and storage things. Good choice.
Mhm. That's my long-term plans. It's for him to make me some frames or just like slats of things to
You have to mount
mm,
things on. Yeah. Does he know
mhm.
your evil plan?
A little bit. I've asked him if he knows how to make frames.
Very good. Very good. I like this.
Yes.
So tell me how you got started stitching.
So, when I was a kid, my grandma taught us how to stitch. I don't remember cross stitch in particular, but I remember embroidery, lots of sewing machines. She did lots of quilting.
Oh, cool.
So that sort of crafting thing was taught to me, but as I got older, I was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then last year, I had to go to Joann's to pick up some paper for a Cricut machine. And I was just perusing the aisles and saw a couple
Does.
kits, as one does at Joann's. Saw a couple kits and thought, oh, hey, I used to do that when I was a kid. They were like $2.99 or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
I threw those away because I was like, this is not good. But I didn't remember how to do any of it. So I went to YouTube and said, how do I cross stitch? And then stumbled into floss tube and all this stuff and this giant secret world of cross stitch and was like, oh my goodness.
That's hilarious.
I had no idea.
Oh, wow. So, do you have like any of your grandmother's quilts or anything like that?
I I don't have them in my house. I have a wall hanging, but it's not accessible. She
Yeah.
was really good. She used to enter pieces into art shows and would win and stuff like that. I have no desire for quilting,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I like watching it be done.
It's they're beautiful pieces. It's a beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful work, but
Yeah. It's
not for me.
I say this is going to sound really strange coming from somebody that is perfectly happy to sit and make a bunch of little X's over and over. But to me, quilting looks tedious.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
have to
Just
be,
a different sort of tedious, right?
yeah, it's like you have to be too precise. You
Yeah.
know,
Cross
and you
stitch
don't,
you can kind of mess up and it's okay.
yeah, and the X's are easy. It's not like it's a hard thing to do. I'm afraid I don't do math, so I'm afraid with quilting, if there's any math involved or to
Too
get,
many fractions.
yeah, yeah, the thing.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think they're gorgeous. Somebody can
Yes.
make them. So you've only been stitching for about a year then.
So less than a year, yeah, about July. But I feel like I've been in this for a long time with how easily you can get sucked in with
You jumped
floss
in.
tube and everything.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Did your sister do any crafts?
No,
Okay.
she had a little bit of interest in embroidery when I was getting started, and then she kind of didn't pick it up.
So you got the craft gene and she didn't.
Yeah, she does. She has done other things. She's knitted before. She was on a knitting kick a couple years ago, and things just kind of come and go in her life.
Yeah, you're going to find a lot more of that too as
Yeah.
time goes on. So have
Yeah.
you found, is there any particular thing you like stitching more than others at this point? Any style, any type of design?
I think I'm still kind of exploring that, but I have found that I don't like a lot of color changes. So things like shades feel really intimidating to me. Anything that's full coverage feels like, oh no, that's not for me quite yet. I kind of want to have my color, do the block of color, and then kind of move on to the next. I don't mind if it's like making a scarf and you got to change the colors a little bit, but just like that frequent, like you need one color for one box and then it's not until like way further out.
Yeah, my
Not for
craft,
me at this
yeah,
point anyways,
my
maybe
craft
someday,
would
but
drive me crazy. Yeah,
yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's do some show and tell.
Okay.
So do
uh
you have any finishes you'd like to
I
show?
do have two finishes, and then I'll show you the whips that I have. So this first one I made for a friend. The pattern I got off Etsy. I think it's Good Morning Maui, and it's the Golden Girls.
Oh, that's awesome.
And my friend that I made it for, she loves watching the Golden Girls, and she's one of my really good friends. So it felt very appropriate.
Yeah, perfect. So when did she do
Yeah.
that?
So I did show it to her, and then I was like, I don't know when it's gonna get done.
Yeah, 'cause you have to get
So
it framed and everything.
yeah. So I don't know. I still have to figure out. It's small enough that it should fit in a normal sort of frame.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, I did kind of want to put it in a hoop to make it look sort of like a traditional cross stitch piece,
Right, right.
you
Yeah.
know? So still not quite sure. Still trying to figure that out.
You can try different things. At least those type of frame options aren't so expensive. That
Right.
like you're putting a lot of money out. Try it. Yeah.
hmm And then my other finish is I finished this probably in January.
Oh wow.
It's Winter Warmth by Little Dove Sampler.
I was gonna say Little Doves. I like her band sampler. Show it again.
Yeah, they're really pretty.
So what count fabric is this? A 14?
This is on 14 count Fiddler's Ada.
Okay, nice. And is it DMC?
Uh-huh. And
Very
it's all mostly what it's called for. There were a few points that I changed because the white wasn't showing up super great on the Ada.
right.
Um, so I left some of it out, and some of the colors I changed just because I liked them better. So, but for the most part, it's what's called for.
I like her. Like I said, I like her style. There's one of hers in particular I've seen that's like I think like a seaside type theme for a band.
Yeah,
That,
yeah, they're so cute, and all of her season pieces that she does for the magazine. I'm like, I want to
yeah,
do all of them.
yeah, really cute style.
Yeah. So I have 5 pieces that I have, 5 whips.
Okay, cool.
So I have 2 that I have on Q snaps. I found that I like Q snaps kind of the best. They sort of hold my work for me the best.
Right.
This one is Let's Stay Home from
Oh, right.
Satsuma Street, the free pattern she put out for
Right.
the quarantine.
Yeah, boy, it looks like you're almost done. Well, I guess you have a good chunk of the
I
house.
still have the good chunk of the house,
Yeah,
so it's deceiving that it is small, but it is all mostly full coverage, which this I don't mind
that's
because
pretty much
it
all
is
the color, right?
chunks of color, whereas some of other her patterns are a lot more broken up.
Yeah,
It's
that's
so
really
pretty. I love
it's
sort of the like 60s, 70s vibe that it has. I can't wait for it to be done. And
nice.
this is just on regular 14 count that I had in my closet because I was desperate to start it.
This is why stash is good.
I know. I have a hard time collecting stash because I don't have a local needlework shop.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Yeah, so for me, at least the fabric part is hard because I don't know what a lot of these things look like in person and can't floss toss or sort of do any of that. So it's a little bit of a guessing game, but it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then the other one that I have on a Q Snap is the autumn version of the, as not very much has started, of the a little dove sampler of
Okay.
that
Do you have
quad.
a picture of that handy?
Yeah, I can pull it up on my iPad. I bought the packet of all 4 seasons.
Oh, cool.
So I will be doing all of them.
Is that on the fiddler's cloth too?
Yeah. And then the other ones I'll probably be doing on different fabric. I just haven't picked them out yet.
Mm.
Let's see. That shows
Oh yeah, that is so cute.
just pretty oranges and
Very.
reds and
Yeah.
yeah. I like it because it feels like a traditional sampler, but it's still very modern.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So that one got started and then hasn't gotten some love because I got distracted with Let's Stay Home.
That's understandable though. It'll wait for you.
Yeah. Okay. Next one. Next one is Northern Expression Needleworks shades of plum, but I'm doing it in pink. I
Nice.
don't know if you can see. That's
Very.
about 1 page done. And
So you're just using one color? Back it up
hmm
a little bit from the camera. I think it was hard having a hard time focusing. Yeah, that's pretty. What floss are you using?
it's a Threadworks floss. I can't remember the name. It's like peach or something like that.
Pretty. That's really.
And this is a 36 count.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Are you
I'm
happy?
trying to figure out what counts and stuff I like stitching on. So I just kind of pick a new count for each new project
That's not
and
a
see
bad.
how I feel about it.
Yeah. So, did you have any problems? Is that your first linen piece?
Yeah, that is my first like true linen. I like it.
Yeah. No,
You
no.
know, I kind of, as I'm stitching on that, I'm like, yes, I want to stitch on linens and stuff like that, or even weaves. And then I go back to Ada. I'm like, oh, this isn't too bad. I like the Fiddler's Ada. So,
Yeah, yeah. And
you
I
know,
think different patterns kind of lend themselves better to different ones of the cloths. And
hmm
it's not like one is better than the other. It's just a different feel to the kind of the finished project.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
And especially
Um,
with all the hand dyes out there that can be about
there's
anything.
just so many to choose from. It's impossible.
It doesn't make it any easier, does it?
No. So this is another Satsuma Street pattern. This is Joy. This is my Christmas piece.
Oh, I have that one.
Yeah.
Nice.
And these are all just my own picked colors. I had a box of pre-bobbinated floss from my grandma, and so I just again was too anxious to start it, so I got the fabric and just picked colors and went for it.
And what is the fabric?
This is 28 count Monaco,
Okay, nice.
which I really like too. I just wish it came in bigger pieces,
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
I think have you looked at Fat Quarter Shop?
Yeah. I needed a big piece of fabric and Monaco just doesn't come that big unless they're changing, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And then my last piece, this is kind of my favorite one. This is Autumn Quaker from Lila
Oh,
Studio.
yes. Oh, wow.
I know this one's pretty popular. It's so much fun.
Aren't all the little different motifs fun? And like when you finish them, it feels like a,
It's so satisfying.
yeah. So is that also a Monaco?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
also Monaco.
Okay,
Yeah,
28.
28 count, yeah. I started on it and I started on this first motif and I was like, "Oh, I think this is going to be harder than I thought."
All that counting.
All that counting. I was like, "Oh no." So I put it away for a little while and then I came back to it. I was like, "Oh, okay, I can do this. Not
Yeah.
too bad."
Yeah. So are you using, is it charted in DMC?
Yeah, so it's charted in I think Classic Colorworks and DMC and I'm using DMC for it.
Oh, very cool. So those are your current projects. Are you doing Stitch Mania?
Not really. I figured I would just have the goal of finish Let's Stay Home.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're
And
pretty much working on that. That's the only one you're working on like every day, or do you switch things up a bit?
um I just stitch when I feel up for it. So I have a chronic illness, and sometimes it does not lend to me to have the brain power to stitch or the energy to stitch.
Yeah.
So sometimes that's a day or two, sometimes that's a week, sometimes it's a month. And I just kind of have to go with the flow. If I feel up for it, it's cool. If not, then I've got to be cool with that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So right now I've been kind of flowing with it. So hopefully that'll get done by June. I was hoping to be done weeks ago, but then I didn't stitch for a little bit. So
Well, that's just it. Life is like that.
yeah,
It'll be waiting for you.
exactly.
Funny,
Yes, it will.
no little elves in there to work on it for
Yeah.
you. Well, that's awesome. So, do you find then, um, whenever you are able to stitch with all that's going on, that you're finding you can kind of get lost in your stitching and not worry about what's going on out in the outside world? Or has there ever been a point where you were able to stitch, physically, but just didn't feel like
Yeah, that happens a lot because what I like to do is watch things while I'm stitching.
it? Mhm.
And something you can do while you stitch is watch the news, and that's not necessarily the best right now. So I just had to sort of figure out my boundaries, where I was mentally, and just kind of work that out. Either put on something else or just not think I can have those things on in the background and not pay attention to them.
Mhm. There's always floss tube to keep you company.
Oh yes.
Lots and lots of floss tube.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Especially with all the mania stuff going on right now. And
Do you have your eye on any projects or patterns that you don't have yet that you're like aiming for?
I want to do all of the Northern Expression pieces.
Shades? Yeah.
Yeah, like all the shades. I have another one that I won't be starting for a while, but and then Plum Street Sampler, they have a little like wiener dog series.
Yeah.
I want to do that because
Is it?
I've always had wiener dogs, and the dog that I have
Oh,
is a wiener dog, and I think that would be so fun.
yeah.
But those are sort of distant. I want to finish a couple of these before I start thinking about that.
So you're not going in for the whole start all the things.
No, I can't because traditionally I'm not very good at finishing things that I start. So I want to make it manageable that I will finish the things that I start.
Yeah. That's not a bad habit to get into. Coming from,
At least for, a year or two and make sure that I'm going to stick with this craft. One
yeah,
thing I really like about it is you can make it as cheap or as expensive as you want, and still get sort of the same joy from it.
yeah, yeah. And very portable, easy to take around.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, I have this little crafty bag that sits in my lap and goes around
nice.
my
Yeah.
house that,
So you're
has all
putting
my
out words.
accoutrements
Yeah.
in it.
Awesome. Well, Felicia, I am so glad that you agreed to talk to me.
Well, thank you for having me.
Is there anything else you wanted to share?
I
Anything
don't think
yet?
so.
Okay.
No, not really.
Well, I am glad I had this chance to meet you. I know you're relatively new to my channel, and so it's fun to be able to put the faces to the names and
Yeah.
to know people. All righty. Well, you enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you. You too.